Hello everyone, welcome to iXL Core, and on this video we're going to continue with our setup of the CRM. So we go to setup and then settings. In this video we're going to do the setup on finance section, where we have general, invoices, proposal, estimates, credit notes, subscriptions and payment gateways. So to start off, we'll start with the general. And in general, one, we're able to change whether it's a decimal separator or thousand separator. So that means how the accounting number is divided. So it's 1,000. There are those who use a comma instead of the full stop, and then they use a comma for thousand separator. You can put none for those who don't use any in terms of separation of their numbers. This prefix format is 6. Number will be formatted to 0 or 0.25 in terms of paddings for the number. The can remain the same. You can automatically assign logged in staff as a sales agent. That means whoever staff is logged into and raising an invoice, and we are having the agent module, can become the agent of that particular invoice or sale. Then we show tax on the invoice per item, or we can group and have the tax grouped as one lump sum figure. This allows different items to be taxed differently. We can remove the tax name from the item table row and then say no, so we have the different tax items highlighted. So tax will be shown without the name, or it can be shown with the name depending on how we want to use it. So we want to have the name, so therefore we say no. We have currency symbols from the item table is excluded, and then we are able to say yes or no. In terms of tax, we will just see how we are setting the tax shortly, and then we can remove decimals, and then we do not want to have amount in words, and therefore we leave the settings as they are, and then we save the settings. Quickly, as we are on the setting, you will see the finance function here, and from there we are able to come to tax rates. So we are still on finance, on the general bit of it. So on tax rates, it will allow us to create taxes. So we can say we want to have new tax, and then we can say probably we want VAT, and for our purposes we can put it at 15%. We can create another tax, excise duty or whatever duty, and say 5%. And then we can have another tax, we can say, and we can call it withholding tax, let's say 5%, which is on professional services or whatever tax, and save that. That allows us to set up the different tax rates for the entity. On currencies, we can set the currency, so we have currencies that we want to use. We can add currencies, we can delete currencies, and we can set a base currency. By clicking on the star, you can make Kenya shilling the base, the USD the base currency. Just by clicking on that, you make the base currency change to a different currency by clicking on the star that we've seen it. We can add additional currency when you want to add additional currencies. The payment modes here, these are payment modes that we're going to do an offline payment. So if there's an offline payment and we want this invoice to have a payment, we can put a payment, offline payment. So we say we want a payment to be done, or whatever will appear on our invoices. Whenever we are issuing invoices, we can put that as a payment mode. And we say we want to show this on invoices. We want to select it by default on invoice. We want to be invoice only. It can be on invoice and expense, so we don't need to highlight. We can select by default on all invoice and then save. We can add different offline payments at this juncture. We are also able to set up categories for expense. We will not go to details. We will go through expense category when we're dealing with the finance module itself. So we'll go back and then go back to settings. So once you're in settings again, on general, we can, and if you want to have a default invoice, now we are able to choose what default we want to have on an invoice. So we want VAT to be on default on invoices or any item we are raising, then that is set. That's the general finance setup, but we will go into details when we are doing the finance module. Thank you very much. In the next one, we're going to invoice and we go to how our documents are going to look. Thank you very much.